Hey there. One mulligatawny and, what is that right there? Is that lima bean?
Yes.
Never been a big fan. You know what? Has anyone ever told you look exactly like Al Pacino? You know, Scent of a Woman? Hoo-ah! Hoo-ah!
Very good. Very good. You know something? No soup for you! Come back 1 year. Next!
Hello.
You think you can get soup? Please, you're wasting everyone's time.
Wow. I don't want soup. I can make my own soup.
10 fixing lands, portent, mystical teachings.
That is my recipe for wild mushroom.
Yeah, that's right. I got them all. Cold cucumber, corn and crab chowder, mulligatawny.
Mulligatawny.
You're through, soup Nazi. Back it up. No more soup for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Lucky Paper Radio. My name is Andy. I'm here, as always, with my co-host, Anthony, Stone Soup Sous Chef Maddox.
I'm here. I've got my knives.
Say Stone Soup Sous Chef 4 times fast.
Chef. Stone Soup Sous Chef. Stone Soup Sous Chef.
See?
Damn it. Not so close.
Easy. Yeah, we are doing a little bit of a weird experiment in this episode, which is to say that I am getting ready to head out to CubeCon in a few days, and am doing another Stone Soup draft with some friends, and we're going to work together to build my Stone Soup pool, which I have put no effort into until this moment right now.
This is different. I was expecting to come down and you to have 45 specific cards laid out.
Oh, really?
With a detailed story about each one and why it was important to you and why it makes sense in this Stone Soup.
Wait,
instead,
is that really what you thought we were doing?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, I thought I communicated pretty clearly we were going to go through
You didn't say anything.
together.
Nope.
I said, do you want to build a Stone Soup pool together?
Okay, well,
Anyway.
Then I wasn't listening. I see you've moved your well-organized piles of cards over to the corner, and instead you have an old-timey briefcase
Well, yeah,
full of cards. You have this is nice. You got, what is this, a Staub casserole box filled with cards. We got another cardboard box full of... This is extremely nostalgic for me right here. This is just Dominaria Commons.
Yeah, that
Wow.
box is... First, let me explain what Stone Soup is for people that don't know.
No, let me continue to list the
this.
various piles of cards around the room, because I'm not done.
So, Stone Soup is a fun little casual draft format where the players in the pod each show up with 45 cards of their own selection for any reason or design purposes, and then you shuffle them all together with all the other cards and just draft. So it's like a way to build your own janky cube on the fly and then just play it with people. We did a whole episode dedicated to this format with DSB, which I highly recommend listening to. DSB is a charismatic and charming guest, so a great episode whether you care about the format or not. It's definitely just a fun listen. In this particular Stone Soup, Anthony, the people I'm playing with have settled on, number 1, playing unsleeved, and number 2, playing for keeps. So everybody's basically bringing bulk and cards they don't mind having both shuffled unsleeved and also don't mind having other people walk away with, which is fine, but I also got out all my bulk for that reason. So let me give you a quick tour of the various bulk we're looking at here. So the piles on the table, save for one, which I'll explain in a second, all came out of that big brown cardboard box. And these are just my bulk commons and uncommons from the sets that you and I drafted the most. So you said you had a lot of nostalgia for it. It's going to be sets we did a lot of drafting of, because that is where I got all of those cards. We used to draft a lot. And that's a very big box full of thousands and thousands of cards. This box, I'm not actually sure where these cards came from, but I do know that Max at some point picked over them for me because he was looking for some cards for
Max, friend of the show,
cubes.
famous for Pokemon Slideshow.
Yes. He was looking for cards for one of his own cubes and offered to like pick through my bulk to find cards for his cubes. And so out of that bulk, he pulled this stack of cards, which he thought I might care about for some reason, either because they were uniquely powerful or potentially had some value. Like, I think he was under the impression that Rat Colony is worth something, maybe because of Commander players. I have no idea.
It used to be worth like $4. I don't know if it still is.
Good job, Max, pulling that out, because I have quite a few of those in here. So that's what this little pile is. I'll put it back in this box so we don't get confused. None of this has to stay sorted after this, by the way. I'm just pointing out where it all came from.
Let me see that stack.
Yeah. Then this box right here, which is one I'm particularly excited to peruse for this particular Stone Soup. This is all cards that were at some point in my neoclassical cube and have since been cut. So this is all, and there's probably, I don't know, 1,000 cards here, or cards I pulled out for the neoclassical cube but never actually tested. These are all going to be old border cards that are also going to be largely beat up and in poor condition that we can also pour over. And then this is maybe the most interesting cards we can peruse here, Anthony. This
old-timey suitcase.
When we first got back into the game and didn't know anything about cards, I went on eBay and bought one of those like $20 for a like batch of 5,000 cards or something, which are largely a ripoff if you know what you're talking about.
But you didn't, so
I didn't.
I'm going to be honest, I probably bought like 1,000 card box from Star City.
I bought this from some random eBay seller, and I specifically bought what was like 6th edition and earlier cards. So this is also pretty much exclusively old border Magic, not entirely, but pretty much exclusively. And this has been picked over multiple times, and there actually was some cards of some decent value in here. Now this is just kind of like completely random old school bulk, and there's a lot of duplicates in here of random commons from whatever set. It is sorted by color, though, which is nice, because nothing else here is sorted by anything. But, you know, if I pick up the gold section here, it's like 4 copies of Victual Sliver and Hibernation Sliver and whatever, some random old cards. So, that is what we have to pick over. I see you're already fast and furious in there.
Look, you put a pile of cards in front of me. I'm going to flip through them and find cards. My question for you is, what is your strategy going into this? Because
I don't know.
I've only done one Stone Soup, which was the one we talked about on that previous episode. And a big question is like, what's like the power level? What's the theme for the cards you're bringing? Do you want to bring something that's like a cohesive set of 45 cards? Do you want to just like bring things that you think are pretty flexible? Do you have a sense of what like the power level you expect other people to bring? Are you concerned about that?
I am not concerned about any of those things. Yeah, I think it's just a good time to talk again about like the considerations that go into a Stone Soup pile, because I don't think you need your computer. Get that out of here. There's no computer need here.
I had to look up the price of Rat Colony. It's like $3.
Oh, okay, well there you go. Thanks, Matt.
Oh, sorry,
Max.
Wizards of the Coast employees.
It's 3 units, 3 hamburgers.
3 hamburgers.
So there's a number of ways you could go about building one of these pools, and like you said, you could basically design a very synergistic, focused pool. You could even do a synergistic, focused pool in like 1 or 2 colors. You could be like, look, I'm bringing a complete blue-red Spellslinger deck, and that's just going to get mixed into the pod, and maybe I'll try and draft it, maybe someone else will try and draft it, but like that's a completely valid thing to do. You could also bring cards that were just generic cards that you liked with no sort of plan and see what happens from there, and that's kind of more what I'm into, I think, is just kind of bringing cards that I think have a high likelihood of being able to interact in fun ways with cards that other people have brought, just like cards with a lot of, you know, attachment points or a lot of, you know, ways they can interact with other cards. I will also say, from my last couple Stone Soups, I feel like I'm interested in bringing a lot of fixing lands and a lot of removal, because I feel like those are things that, generally speaking, do not inspire people and they don't get excited about bringing them. But I know from my experience playing Limited that I like Limited a lot more when I am playing Limited with a lot of removal and a lot of fixing lands. And so I think I want to bring a lot of that to try and put my thumb on the scales of the overall cube environment.
Right. So it's like you are building a cube collaboratively. So if you want there to be fixing lands, ideally everybody would be bringing, like 10% of their pool or something fixing lands, maybe even more. And maybe it sounds like a little bit not optimistic that other people will do so. So you're happy to go a little bit above and beyond.
Experience in the past has told me that people are not that likely to do that. And so, yes, I am enthusiastic about bringing a lot of fixing lands and a lot of removal.
I feel like I'm going to hit a vein here at some point of fixing lands. I've got you a Growl Turf and some, what did I find here? Snow fixing lands from Kaldheim, just 3 random ones.
What do you think of that plan? What do you think of that approach?
I think that's a great plan. I think also that is sort of a reasonable answer to like what kind of power level are you trying to target, because like targeted removal is some of the most scalable types of effects for any kind of cube. It's like If your opponents bring very powerful creatures, you can kill them with targeted removal. If they bring not so good creatures, you can kill them with removal. It's like it's always going to be kind of reasonable, right?
I do think the rate does matter, but yes, generally speaking, I think you're right that removal scales very elegantly with the environment because it's always going to remove a threat. Whatever the threat is can change variably based on what the environment is built around, but yes, it is pretty scalable, I think, overall. I've noticed that this is maybe not the best idea. I think you're just going to be distractedly looking at Magic cards, and when I ask you a question, saying, yeah, great idea, whatever.
Great idea.
But so you like this idea of bringing removal and fixing lands?
I love this idea.
Should we bring all removal and fixing lands? That is
no,
it?
I think you should bring at least, let's say, 3 creatures.
Are you worried that if I were to do that, we'd end up with the cube with not enough creatures?
I'm not concerned.
Okay, this is an interesting experimental episode.
We got Empty the Warrens.
Sounds good.
That's cool.
You found another card that's cool.
We got Gath and Raiders. That's a classic. Deathspore Thallid, everybody's favorite.
Just reading cards. Okay, Anthony, you've had some time to think about this.
We've looked
now,
through.
Do you have something to say?
5,000 cards. All right, so here's what I found. I found a bunch of these tapped lands. Are you okay with that?
I mean, lands are lands.
Lands are lands.
Did not find that many lands going through what I went through. I went through this entire... Oh, my God.
What just happened to your old-timey suitcase break?
No, I just knocked a whole big pile of cards off the table. It's fine.
No.
It's whatever. I'll clean it up later. I went through this big old-timey suitcase, and it contains no lands. I think maybe that was like a selling point of it on eBay when I bought it. Like, don't worry, no lands, the most boring card type. I did pull some lands from the old neoclassical cube box, but frankly, that cube is still playing pretty much all of the lands I ever put in there because I love lands. Why would I ever cut them?
That makes sense.
So I didn't find as many as I think maybe you did. Do you think we should be trying to make any attempt to color balance this?
I mean, as far as lands, yeah, I would. Okay, you got 45 cards. Plus, you got to find basics, right? You got some basics somewhere in here?
Oh, yeah, basics are fine. I got those.
Great. You want a cycle? Like, is one of each enough, or do you want to do more?
No, I want way more.
You want more. So 2 of each?
Were you even listening when we were talking earlier? You're just looking at Magic cards. No, I think I want
both.
I think I want to bring almost entirely fixing and interaction. Let's say I want to bring like 10 to 15 cards that are not fixing an interaction.
Okay, so then let's make sure we have at least 2 of each color pair. Unless you want to just bring 20 of a particular color pair and be like, I'm forcing, is it?
Well, what I did find in my box, just to put it out there, is 12 copies of Ash Barons. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a couple more floating around here somewhere.
Okay, here's one more Ash Barons for you.
I have a lot of copies of Ash Barons if we want to break Singleton.
No, there's enough to work with. I mean, here I got a Fiery Islet for you.
Yeah.
Wandering Grove, Meandering River.
Yeah.
Cinder Barons. So let's get those in.
I don't like the snow ones because that would imply that I'm going to have something that cares about snow in the pool,
That's
and I
a good
will
point.
not.
You are that's funny. It's like with 45 cards, you are still sending a little bit of a signal to people.
I mean, I think that's the fun part of this format is the idea that you can indicate with the cards what else is coming down the lane for people.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we talked about this when we recorded the episode, but I think one of the great joys of this format is you are drafting it totally blind. I mean, I guess you know 1/8 of the pool, but you're drafting it almost entirely blind, which is a rare opportunity in the modern world of everyone knows every Magic card at all times, and there's, analysis of all draft formats and cube lists posted online. So yeah. What do you think about the bounce lands? We are both Ravnica bounce lands enjoyers.
I am absolutely a bounce land enjoyer. You do not have to twist my arm to say, if we found a cycle of all 10 of them, I'd say just play those. But we got like 6.
Do you worry that some people might bring land destruction?
Maybe? Do I worry? Yes, I'm worried some people might do that. That would not influence my choice to include the bounce lands.
Now, let's just say I and my piles over here have specifically Temporal Spring and Recoil as cards I want to bring. Does that make you not want to bring the bounce lands?
No, that's upside. That's all upside.
For those that don't know, those are 2 bounce spells that do hit lands, Recoil and Temporal Spring. So it could be kind of a blowout against the bounce lands. Really big tempo swing. Man, 45 cards is just not that many.
It's not that many.
I was saying, I want to bring a bunch of fixing lands and interaction, and I think 20 fixing lands is an okay number.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bring 20 interactive spells. That's 5 non-interactive spells that I get to bring. It's a really tight little pool, honestly.
That's the fun exercise,
when
right?
You're trying to put your hand on the scales, your thumb on the scales. I do want to bring an Ash Barons,
Sure.
a Terramorphic Expanse,
Sure.
and Evolving Wilds.
Great.
Which means I think we're not going to bring 2 of each color combination. I also found 1 Grasslands, one of the old school slow fetch lands, and I found a really beat up Fetid Heath that we could use to throw in here.
How do you feel about like non-land based fixing? For example, I think I found a Renegade map somewhere in this pile.
That particular card, I think, is quite poor. I don't
good.
love Renegade map.
What about Pilgrim's Eye? Do you include that as like a fixing option?
That definitely is a fixing card, and I like a Pilgrim's Eye. I think
Let's throw a Pilgrim's Eye in there.
It's not exciting, but it does the thing, you know?
Okay, one other fixing option. Where did I find it in here? What's the card that Max played that's really annoying?
What's the card any card that Max played is my first thought. He's very good at making any card annoying.
The blue card that lets you cast Harrow every turn.
Dreamscape Artist.
Dreamscape Artist. I swear, I put it in this pile.
And yet you can't find it.
And yet it's gone, so never mind. Never mind about that one.
I would count that as well. I have an Abundant Growth over here I'm going to throw in. So that counts. That's mana fixing.
Okay.
It's colored mana fixing, which I don't love, but it counts still.
So what are you at now between sort of a cycle plus some other generic fixing?
I have 15 lands plus Pilgrim's Eye plus Abundant Growth over here in a pile. What do you think would be artifact dual lands? Do we want to put some of those in?
I think as long as you're not putting in a ton of them, like just one or two, and like maybe somebody does something weird with them. Maybe somebody brings a Noyandar or a Genju of something, and somebody gets to do something very cool.
That's true. Okay, so I will go through this pile off mic and find the 5 color pairs that are least represented and add the artifact dual land from each of those.
Okay.
And that puts us at 20 fixing lands. Yeah,
Dreamscape
get that
Artist?
Yeah, Dreamscape Artist. Get it over here. That's great. So that'll be 20 fixing cards. I think that's fine. Talk about removal. What do you have for removal over there?
It is interesting just like looking through all of these like random cards here. Limited removal definitely has a texture to it. And there's a lot of like 4 mana, destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. I feel like that's probably not the kind of spell you want. Or like 5 mana, destroy target creature, make a treasure token.
That's probably a little underrated.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. But I found a lot of classic options for you here. I've got a lightning bolt and a braid, flame slash, arc lightning. How you feeling about these? Shiv and Fire?
Some of those I feel good about. Some I don't feel so good about. I think Arc Lightning can be really punishing in an environment like this.
That is definitely true.
Anything that can like be a big 2-for-1 or 3-for-1, I'm less excited about. I think Lightning Bolt is obviously fine. I think that's one of the cards that I believe was there in multiples in the first Stone Soup we ever did.
Not surprising.
That I think is totally reasonable.
Outside of red, we got a Blood Chief's Thirst. What else we got? Bubble Snare? I like a Bubble Snare.
Bubble Snare is a card that does not spark joy for me.
Okay, what about a Blink of an Eye or an Into the Royal?
I mean, those definitely spark joy. I love those.
Okay.
I have a couple of those over here, too.
Okay, great.
I think I had maybe some more interesting removal to pick over in my piles because I was dealing with old school Magic. So I got some fun, exciting options like a Wing Shards. I think I'm definitely going to add a Wing Shards.
Ooh, that's the one with Storm, sacrifice an attacking creature?
Yeah, target player sacrifices an attacking creature.
I like that.
Reckless Spite, 1 black, instant, destroy 2 target non-black creatures, you lose 5 life. I'm into that. That's extremely my stuff. Orcish Cannonade is now the card I'm putting in every cube. I'm obsessed with this card. It's
Tell
so
me about
good.
that. What's that do?
1 red, instant, 2 damage to any target, and 3 damage to you, and draw a card.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Really awesome card. I
Cantrip.
just added it to Sacred Geometry, and I really like it there. I am adding Recoil and Temporal Spring like we talked about. I mentioned I didn't think I want to include Arc Lightning because it's kind of a blowout. But I do really want to put Fiery Justice in. It's like cool Arc Lightning. It's like Daniel and the cooler Daniel.
It's cool. It's old school. It's 3 colors. It is kind of just Plague Wind, but that's okay. Somebody's got to read this old card and realize that.
So I like including that for like seeing this card in a pack upside. Like Fiery Justice is a delightful card to open. It's so cool. The art is so sick. It's the kind of card they would not print today for a variety of reasons. I guess we should say this is Naya, so it's white, green, red for a sorcery. It deals 5 damage divided as you choose among any number of targets, and target opponent gains 5 life. So ignore that last part. Who cares? Give them 5 life all day. It's just 3 mana for 5 damage between any number of targets. It is Plague Wind. I do think this is the kind of card that really rewards somebody that's just like playing 5-color good stuff, because most people are not going to take this card because they can't cast it. You might even get it late, and it's messed up. It's broken.
All right, let me hit you with some weird ones. Finders Keepers, destroy target creature, assemble a contraption for 6 mana.
No.
I mean, I think that it could be funny to include like exactly one like cheap assemble a contraption card and then one really good contraption, and just like drafting those 2 cards together is going to be very strong. But yeah, your 6 mana removal spell's not where you probably want that. What about a Temporal Isolation? This gives a creature shadow, but also prevents all damage.
The weird pacifism from Time Spiral.
Which there's like weird stuff you can do with it, but mostly it's just pacifism. You're not. It's
I'm
not
trying to
Spark
think
and
what kind
Joy.
of weird
It's not
stuff
Spark
you can
and
do
Joy.
with it.
If you have like any kind of attack trigger,
I mean, sure, yeah.
put it on your Krenko and just.
I don't think
have
you're
go
ever putting
play
it
with
on your own creature. Like, I think it's just got downside if maybe your opponent has an attack trigger.
That's fair.
The idea that you would pacify your own creature to get the attack trigger slightly more safely is wild.
Sparks Joy for me. Feed the Swarm. Do you want some ways to answer enchantments in black?
I think I'm going to include some of these sort of more generic removal spells that are just kind of good, but I'm liking focusing on as much as possible, like perhaps cool ones people have not seen before.
Sure.
Your Reckless Spites, your Temporal Springs, your Orcish Cannonade. Like, for example, I got Urtai's Meddling here. That's a fun card.
Urtai's Meddling. I know this from the article I wrote about regular expressions and how this card is impossible to search for if you're looking for counterspells.
Yeah, because it is a counterspell, effectively, but it does not say counterspell anywhere on it. It's X and a blue. When target spell is successfully cast, I don't know the Oracle text, I'm reading the actual printed text. When target spell is successfully cast, put X delay counters on it. X cannot be 0, and during each upkeep of that spell's caster, remove a delay counter from that spell. If it has no delay counters on it, it resolves. You basically suspend a thing for X that's on the stack, which is cool. It gets around, can't be countered too, because you can just suspend it, obviously. But mostly, I think it's actually a fine counterspell in really slower environments. I'm sorry, in faster environments, because if 2 turns matters a lot, then it could be quite a good counterspell. I love Prohibit too. That's one of my favorite counterspells that actually was like constructed playable for a while there. It's 1 and a blue counter target spell if its mana value is 2 or less, and then it's got kicker for 2. And if you kick it, then you can counter something that costs 4 or less. So you always got to pay basically the same amount of mana as the spell you're countering.
I like a Prohibit. Okay, here's one more weird one. This stood out to me because I drafted this last Tuesday at our weekly Cube night. Garbage Fire. Are you familiar with this guy?
I am, and I'm not.
Okay.
I am, and I'm not.
Garbage Fire is really fun in multiples too, so fair.
Now, talking about multiples, I did set aside 5 copies of Accumulated Knowledge.
I mean, I think that's cool. I think that is a cool thing to do at a Stone Soup, but you're talking about how you want to use your limited number of cards here.
Yeah.
And that really kind of is your whole bit, if that's what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I mentioned having like 5 to 10 cards that were not removal or fixing. And so, yeah, I could commit almost all of that to Accumulated Knowledge if I wanted to. But
do you want this Lightning Bolt?
I feel like everyone's going to bring a Lightning Bolt. I don't need to be one of the biggest.
That's fair.
I don't need to bring a Lightning Bolt. It's fine. I see a Flame Slash and a
BYOB.
Braid.
Yeah, you want a Flame Slash and a Braid?
I like it a Braid. A Braid's good. I don't
Great.
think we need Flame Slash. I think we got more interesting options over here. So I have, for the removal on my side...
Oh, I see a Fire and Ice.
Yeah, I got Fire Ice. I also have Spite Malice. Have you heard of Spite Malice? It's actually too bad. It's 4 mana on both sides. Never mind. That's gone. I can't bring that.
Haven't heard of Spite Malice and still haven't. Still won't.
It's quite poor. All right, how do you feel about a Conflagrate?
Conflagrate. That's a big X spell. I feel like that's a card that I always struggle to parse and understand what it does.
It's a card that a lot of people struggle to play successfully. It is XX red for a sorcery to deal X damage divided as you choose from any number of targets.
Oh, and then it has
That's
flashback.
Bad. That's the bad part. Like, you don't want to pay 5 mana for a Chandra's Pyrohelix, which is what that is on the front side.
If you want a Chandra's Pyrohelix, I got one of those for you right here.
The flashback is just pay 2 red and discard X cards. So if you play it in a deck that can have a lot of cards in hand late game, like imagine, for example, you have like an Upheaval or, a bunch of wheels so you can draw a bunch of cards late game, you could theoretically cast this for a huge late game value, but it's not a good generic removal spell. You have to have built around it, which makes me think, I don't know, maybe it's too tricky?
I think it's a little too tricky. If you wanted to commit to doing a madness theme, I found a Hellmongrel, which I don't think you want to just include on its own, but is one of the very, very powerful madness, or good staple madness cards.
What do you think of Engineered Plague? And I'm sure you've never read it.
Plague.
Guess what it does exactly,
I believe you choose a creature type, and it does -2 to all creatures of that type.
Just -1.
Just
It's Plague Engineer, but just,
Yeah.
the non-creature version of it.
Sure, that makes sense. It would be just
it also
one.
is symmetrical. Plague Engineer is only your opponent's control. It is 2 and a black.
I don't love it here in a Stone Soup, but I don't know. I mean, that's one of those cards that I think somebody's going to draft and put in their sideboard, and then it's going to be really good one time against somebody who's going to make a whole bunch of tokens.
And is that a good play pattern or not?
I mean, now that I'm saying it, I don't hate that. Is it exciting? Is it interesting? I don't know. All right, so what are you up to with all those removal spells?
I've been trying to figure out how many do I have in my hand right here.
You also have mostly just creature removal spells. Do you want
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I have 21 exactly in my hands right now, including a couple we haven't mentioned, like a Repeal, a Fire Ice, a Power Sink, a Seal of Doom, a Vicious Hunger, a Condescend, Exclude, Lava Dart, Complicate, Mana Leak.
That's a bunch. I mean, do you want some disenchants? I've got a Dispeller's Capsule here, or a Duress. Duress is also, I feel like, one of those classic ones that maybe a couple people will show up with.
I think those are so contextual. Like, whether they'll be good or not depends so much on what people bring.
That's true.
Like, certainly with the pool I brought, no, I don't want any of those because I'm not bringing
Do you want
anything.
to Duress the Fiery Justice?
I mean, I guess Duress is good. No, Duress is actually very good against my pool. So, yeah, okay. I think my pool is enough reasonable that I can bring a Duress. Like, give me one of those.
Especially
Duresses.
also with the, what's the wing shards?
Do I have an old school Duress over here that's more beautiful?
There's, I would guess, no less than 45 Duresses on this table.
There's a lot of Duresses on this table. I can say that with confidence. Okay. I actually did cut the, there's one card in there I didn't want to play. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Just
15,
also
16,
to establish
17,
rules,
18,
I'm assuming
20,
double-faced
21.
cards are out when you're drafting unsleeved.
I would say so, though not necessarily. I mean, you can definitely do that. I guess it's hard because you're building the packs. You're going to see it and know about it before you should, which is a thing. All right, I got to cut one of these black removal spells. Do I cut Expunge, which is a Doomblade at instant speed for 3 mana with cycling? Do I cut Vicious Hunger, black for a sorcery, 2 damage to target, gain 2 life, target creature, gain 2 life? Or Seal of Doom, a Doomblade on a 3 mana seal?
I say the Vicious Hunger.
Vicious Hunger, you're out. All right, that's 20 removal spells and 20 fixing lands.
All right, so now, you want 5 cool cards.
Well, let's pick out, here's what we'll do. Let's pick out 10 cool cards, and then we'll decide from those cool cards if we want to cut a fixing spell or a removal spell or cut one of the cool cards. Let's actually each bring 5, and then we got 10 total. All right, Matthew, we're going to take another minute and a half to do this. All right, I've got my 5.
Okay, I don't know if my 5 are going to be as cool as yours. You have the cooler cards on your side of the table, but what do you got?
Maybe I have 6.
Maybe you have 6. All right,
okay,
we'll each do 6. I'm
we'll
just going to put
6.
the squirrel nest right here.
All right. Do you want to go alternating, or do you want to each go with all 6 bars?
Hit me with one.
All right, I'll hit you with one that I'm just going to go ahead and insist gets included no matter what.
It's your pool?
It's Portent.
Okay, you have to put it in the pool, but you should sign it right now. So who actually gets to keep the cards? The winner takes all? Or
Whoever drafted the cards.
Whoever drafted
You
the
just get
cards.
to keep the cards you drafted.
Yeah, so you got to sign that Portent right now.
That's extremely, extremely arrogant, and I will not do it.
All right, well, how do you feel about a squirrel nest? Squirrel nest is just so much fun to play with. It's the original Planeswalker.
Talk to me about what you enjoy about playing with Squirrel Nest.
I mean, literally making a squirrel. Every turn you make a squirrel.
So I was going to say, how much is it mechanics versus, if it was, making some token you don't care about?
Make a kobold?
I mean, kobolds are 0/1s. That would be very weird, Anthony.
Okay, fine. Make a soldier? Yeah, would not do it for me.
I feel not that enthusiastic about Squirrel
Okay, we're going to
Nest.
put that squirrel nest aside then.
Now, I should say, if we had a pool where, we were including things to untap lands or, other sorts of kindred payoffs, then maybe I could get excited about a Squirrel Nest. But I think it's very unlikely that someone will have something that interacts with it in an interesting way. And
you have that engineered plague right there. That interacts with it in an interesting
certainly
way.
if I was putting that in, I would for sure put engineered plague in. But, all right, my next card is Mystical Teachings.
So what? That gets back
So what?
thing with flashback
So
or
what?
instant, and it's got flashback itself?
No. 4 mana, instant, search your library for an instant or card with flash, put it into your hand.
A thing with flash.
And then flashback for 5 and a black. So it's like a gold card that pays you off for having a lot of
gets your Fiery
instants or
Justice?
things with flash.
I feel like
no. Fiery Justice is a sorcery.
Okay,
Don't
fine,
be
fine,
reasonable. Fiery Justice can't be instant speed. That would be crazy.
You're right.
I think this is a really cool card for a Stone Soup pile because it allows you to make a toolbox, but it's generic enough in what it looks for that you can trust that other people will have brought a lot of things that can go into that toolbox,
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't. It's not a card that sparks joy for me in the same way that it does for many people, but that's fine. That's why Stone Soup is what it is.
You just don't like playing control, huh?
No, I'd rather. Well, I mean, is Squirrel Nest a control card?
I think it is kind of.
A little bit.
I think it's kind of a tap out control card.
Squirrel control.
So grindy.
What, you're not tapping out? You tap out
You
everything
are tapping out.
except for the squirrel nest.
You are
do
tapping
that at
out.
the end of your opponent's
You
turn.
have to pay 3 mana to put Squirrel Nest on one of your lands. You're tapping out your counter magic.
All right, how do you feel about a Decree of Justice?
I love that card.
This is a classic. This
I
one
adore
I picked
it.
just for you.
I adore that card. You don't have to twist my arm to put it in any cube. I do think it's very powerful.
It is, but it's slow.
Yeah.
But it's really good with all the board wipes you put over there.
I put 0 board wipes. That's actually an interesting point. I do have like a Day of Judgment or Wrath of God in here. Should we put a board wipe in?
Yeah, let's put one.
Put 1 board wipe into this removal pile? All right. I'll do that. I'll pull that out after. Well, I'm going to forget if I do it after. Let's get right in here. Okay, I just have a Chroma's Vengeances and 4 Armageddons. So I will...
Armageddon is a pretty different card.
This is an interesting point where, like, obviously I have a million Wrath of Gods if I was just taking one of these cards to then bring back. I don't know where I could find another Wrath of God. So maybe we're just not going to bring a board wipe because I can't find one. And that's
what's that
that's
card
the beauty
called?
of Stone
I know exactly what it does. And the name
Phyrexian
is
Processor?
Phyrexian Processor. That's
I
a
actually
cool card.
pulled this out to put back in the Neoclassical Cube.
Okay.
So that's not on the table because I need that one.
Unless you plan to draft it.
But it's very cool. So it would fit otherwise.
Okay, how about Scrap Trawler? We don't have any artifacts in the pool, but this is definitely a card that it's got a honestly pretty high floor if you have like one other artifact to get back when it dies.
Scrap Trawler is very cool. I don't think it's the kind of card I want to bring unless I've brought cards in my pool that are going to work with it. Because on the off chance other people have not brought things that work with it, seeing it in a pack would be a huge bummer if I took it and then didn't see any targets for it. So I want to at least be able to guarantee that there was like other things I brought. It feels
some pirate spell bombs in there.
It feels like a trick if I bring it and I don't have anything that works with it.
It is the spooky season.
Okay, sure, I could trick people. That's an option.
All right, what do you have next?
My next one is Shadow of the Second Sun.
That seems like a trick. No, remind me exactly what that does.
No, for blue, enchant player. At the beginning of enchanted player's pre-combat main phase, there is an additional beginning phase after the phase.
Additional beginning phase. So
phase,
you always draw
phase.
an extra card every turn and potentially other stuff happens. Is that right?
You'll untap all your lands and draw a card every turn.
Look at this.
Okay,
Look at this squirrel nest.
It is a combo with Squirrel Nest. That is true. This is just a cool, like, card advantage engine and, like, mana engine that I think is a sick top end for control decks that I just haven't been able to play anywhere yet. I have a copy because
it is very strong.
I have a copy because I considered putting it in the Neoclassical Cube because I think it kind of has old school vibes. The whole you take another part of your turn and another part of your turn, like it's got funky.
So you get an extra untap, which means during
so you can untap,
you can
upkeep,
double
draw.
your mana for an instant or for cycling Decree of Justice.
Correct.
That's a lot. That's pretty cool.
If you do have counter spells in your deck or mystical teachings in your deck, it allows you to tap out on your first main phase on 6 mana. Then you untap all your lands, slip your interaction up before your opponent gets to do anything about it. Like you get to draw a card and untap your lands immediately, which I think is quite cool and very powerful. It's a little, I don't know, it just kind of is powerful, like generically. Like you don't necessarily have to do anything cool with it. Like you just described, you can just play it and draw cards and untap all your stuff. It also untaps all your attackers too, because it's a post-combat main phase you get in the beginning phase. So all your stuff basically has vigilance. It does a lot.
Okay. Do you have any green cards in your pool?
I have one in my cool pile.
Fiery Justice is green?
Fiery Justice has green in it.
Yeah.
Temporal Spring has green in it.
Yeah.
I have Abundant Growth.
How about a Ridge Scale Tusker? ETB, put a counter on all other creatures you control. Big guy. I'm just going to put this next to the squirrel nest.
You're immediately putting it off to the side.
Look, we like different things.
We do like different things. I mean, the whole point of me bringing a bunch of fixing and a bunch of removal spells is to try and make it so that the board states do not end up sprawling.
Because and I'm just trying to make sprawling
and
board
you're
states.
just trying to make or pay off sprawling board
I got
states.
some more squirrel cards over here.
With all your suggestions.
Look, I just have a sick little squirrel kitchen table deck I've built over here.
All right, here's one that does work with all the cards that we've pulled out. Jeskai Ascendancy.
Of
that
course.
also rewards going wide.
Yeah?
Just like Ridge Scale Tusker. It's the same card.
It's really good with Squirrel Nest, right?
Ridge Scale Tusker and Jeskai Ascendancy.
No, I guess it's not. Jeskai Ascendancy just untaps all your creatures.
Yeah. It's
so
fine.
You need
with
Mishra's...
You need Earthcraft.
Yeah, or a creature land.
Which Earthcraft you just need already. Yeah, creature lands are cool with Jeskai Ascendancy. That's true. Yeah, I feel like this is a cool payoff for all the removal spells that we have pulled out here and makes them potentially
you have
proactive.
No creatures in your pool, is that correct?
As of right now, no.
Okay. No creatures.
No. Dreamscape Artist, Pilgrim's Eye.
Oh, you're right. Oh, great. Pilgrim's Eye.
Oh, great.
Oh, great. I mean, I guess Dreamscape Artist is pretty cool with both of those cards.
Dreamscape Artist is very cool with Jeskai Ascendancy and Shadow of the Second Sun. Absolutely.
I like how you're like, oh, well, nothing in my pool works with Scrap Troll. And then you're like, Jeskai Ascendancy, no creatures, doesn't matter.
Well, you know there's going to be creatures. That's
Yeah.
a much safer assumption than artifacts that naturally go to the graveyard.
Sure. Okay, what about a Wave Sifter? Kind of like a Mole Drifter, but with extra steps and makes artifacts.
Clue tokens, right?
Yeah.
That card's fine. It's not the kind of card that inspires me. That feels like it belongs in one of these like rare slots.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I had all the
I guess, like you
commons
said,
over
you got
here.
all the bulk over there, all the like commons and uncommons. I have all
Which
the weird,
is,
funky
like,
rares.
to be clear, I would love to play with all these cards, but
Oh,
they're
yeah.
not. They're not.
I would
the
love to put a Wave
5
Sifter-
cool splashy
Right,
slots
exactly.
you're looking for here.
I'll save the green card for the end. The sixth one I pulled
There's
in.
a green card.
I told you I had a green card in my cool pile.
Oh, cool.
The sixth card I pulled in at the last minute that I just really wanted to sneak in there is Kessig Wolf Run.
Definitely,
That's an Anthony style
Easy.
card.
Love that card. It's really good with your Pilgrim's Eye over there. I mean, you can double it with the doubler thing.
Post combat.
Oh, it's post combat. I might still not totally. It's not a Haze of Paradox or whatever. Paradox Haze.
You do get an extra upkeep, but it's
You
during
just
your
also
post
need a
combat
copy
main
of
phase.
Staying Power.
Oh, with Kessig Wolf Run specifically. Not
Yeah.
with the Second Sun.
Okay, well, I think Ardenvale Tactician is cool, but it doesn't make any sense with what you're trying to do over here. How about, can I sell you a Fact or Fiction?
Fact or Fiction is always cool. It's kind of like the basic B answer to what's cool, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's everyone's favorite cool Magic card from when they first figured out cool Magic cards.
It's really cool if you're going to untap all your lands.
That is true. Talk about, Fact or Fiction, EOT, FOF, win. I think Shadow of the Second Sun into untap all your lands into Fact or Fiction is pretty messed up. Those are reasonable fits, I think. My last card is Seasons Past. What do you think of that?
That's a green card.
It's green.
It gets back anything of every mana cost or just permanents?
Anything.
Anything.
It's 4 green. Return
Yeah.
any number of cards with different converted mana cost, mana values from your graveyard to your hand, and put Seasons Past on the bottom of its owner's library.
And it goes back on the bottom, so you can do it forever.
Importantly, you can never die to decking if you
Yeah.
don't have your Seasons Past countered. Or I guess your opponent would also could have a targeted card draw spell that would also kill you.
Or counterspell.
I said if you don't have it countered.
Okay, great. There's too many cards that are distracting me on this table. Yeah, Seasons Past is cool. It's a big splashy finisher. It is technically green. It's not like a big creature or a bunch of squirrels, but fine.
So that leaves us with
what are your favorite
1,
5
2,
here?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we include all 5 of mine and the 2 of yours that are cool, then we have, or 3 of yours that are cool. No, all 6 of mine and the 2 of yours that are cool.
Uh-huh.
Then we have 8.
Weird. You think the cards that you think are cool are cool.
What a weird thing.
Isn't there like a cool big dragon in here you can include or something?
I have Form of the Dragon in my pile, but that card is actually,
you do.
It's so cool, but it also means you just win the game immediately if your opponent
Yeah.
doesn't have any flyers in so
Yeah,
many
I
board
wouldn't,
states.
I wouldn't do that.
It's really, really polarizing. Do I have a big dragon anymore? I mean, I guarantee there's some big dragons up here. No, these are all 8-mana beasts.
Oh, that's your 8 mana beast section of your collection?
This is the expensive mana value red creatures in my little suitcase here, and it's all like skittish Valisk.
Is there a story associated with the old-timey suitcase? Because
Oh, I think this is just the box that Hillary's typewriter is stored in, maybe.
it's certainly not that.
No, I guess it's just luggage. I don't know where this came from. I have no idea. Lined with Celanese, Clarinase, acetate rayon, taffeta, styled by White Star Luggage.
Wow, what a fabric.
Taffeta?
Taffeta.
Taffeta. That sounds better.
Yeah.
What is taffeta?
That stuff, I assume.
Funky. Let me actually do the work of figuring out which color combination is least represented in this pile of dual lands.
Yeah, just cut all the green dual lands. You don't need those.
No, I like fixing. We got to be able to splash our Seasons Past and
absolutely.
our Grixis control deck.
Okay, so it sounds like what your
That's
strategy
what we're here
is you're
for.
just seeding the deck that you want to play.
I do like playing that deck, but no.
No, of
No.
course not.
I could never. I gotta make some space here so I can actually lay out these piles. So talk to me about what you think are maybe the risks of bringing a pool like this.
I think the biggest risk is friendship. If you show up and you just draft
What?
this
Come on.
control deck that's going to untap its lands twice a turn and cycle Decree of Justice,
I'm
and
not
then
going to get
buy back everything.
Shadow of the Second Sun late. Like I have to either open it or I'm not playing it. Someone else is playing it. That card is so good. There's no way it's getting past to me.
But it's also not necessarily obvious on first read what it does.
I disagree. I think it's very obvious what it does.
You assume people are going to read it.
I am giving people the benefit of the doubt that I expect them to read the cards.
I mean, I think including all these lands is low risk. I think that's going to be great. Everybody's going to celebrate you, raise you up on a chair.
Everyone's going to celebrate you. We only have one blue-black land.
One blue-black land.
In this whole pile.
I think I gave you the whole stack of lands that I found.
Yeah, I know.
There is this very legitimate bayou right here.
It's actually okay. We only have some other colors lands here because we also have the dual cards. So let's see. This is 2 of all of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's 21 lands actually total. I think it's kind of dumb to bring Terramorphic Expanse and Evolving Wilds. So
there's
I'll
a
bring just
thing that
Evolving
is
Wilds.
slightly more different than Evolving Wilds.
All right. This is 20 fixing lands.
There's a snow-covered swamp and a snow-covered island. Perfect. That gives you blue and
No,
black.
not doing it. Okay, so this is 5 generic fixing cards plus some dual lands in lots of different color combinations. Not equal, but we're bringing just 20 fixing lands. I like that. I think it's a good contribution to the vibes of the pod. I agree. There are no risks there. I will say that I think some people listening will think there is a big risk there of making like many colored decks too good. What do you think about that suggestion? That, you brought 20 lands, that means that everyone's going to be playing a bunch of gold cards or a bunch of gold decks.
Depends who's at the table. There are definitely some people who are just going to take that strategy of I'm just going to take all the fixing lands and the best cards.
It doesn't matter what cube you give Sam Black. That's what he will probably do.
Absolutely. But I don't know that that's going to be the winningest strategy, and I don't think that's what most people are going to try to do.
I just think that the lands in particular are not actually the thing that is going to make that strategy good. It is inclusion of gold removal, things like Fiery Justice, things like Recoil, things like Temporal Spring.
The things that are going to like let you really benefit from going really late in the game and, I don't know, like draw you 6 cards on turn 12. Those are probably the risky things that are going to enable that kind of deck.
I don't think the lands are going to be the problem. Let's talk about this removal suite that we pulled up.
I'm skeptical about how much you've executed on your thesis of like, I want to have lots of fixing and lots of removal, because those are things everybody wants in their deck, and maybe other people are not going to bring in as much abundance to the Stone Soup. But it kind of feels like you just built a deck that just wants all these cards.
I mean, it happens to be with the addition of Seasons Pass. This could just be a deck, because Seasons Pass means you can never deck.
One little card that ties the room together.
It just happens to be that way. I do genuinely think that like a lot of these cards are never going to wheel. Like they are just good efficient removal spells that people are going to take highly, because like you said, it's a perfect example of a category of cards that people want in their deck but maybe don't feel inspired to bring to the Stone Soup. Why don't you take a peek at this and tell me what you think? And actually, as I'm saying this out loud, I think what I'm going to do, a proposal for you, Anthony. What if we put the Terramorphic Expanse back in, we cut the second dual land in all the color pairs where we had 2 dual lands, bringing us down to 1 dual land of each color combination. That's 10.
But also
plus
3...
Ash Barrens, Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, Pilgrim's Eye, Abundant Harvest, Dreamscape Artists. Thus bringing us to 16 fixing lands. And then we have one more slot, even if we keep all of these cool cards we pulled out.
I got a squirrel nest right here.
But what do you think of that? So that brings us down to just 16 fixing cards. And then I handed you the removal piles for you to look at.
Just put in the dual land that has cycling.
None of these have cycling.
Oh, it's not the one?
No,
Okay.
I pulled out all the worst ones. They're basically all artifact dual lands plus 1 slow fetch land and grasslands, which is probably likely to not do a whole lot because people would have to bring typed duels for that to be other than just a really bad dual land. What do you think of this? I've asked you 3 times now. What do you think of the fact that I cut
That seems fine.
some of these cards and went down to just 16 fixing
16
cards
is still
instead
a
of
lot.
20?
I mean, I honestly would just throw one of them back in. Just put in the bounce land. Everybody likes bounce lands.
I'm offering you a rare extra slot to pick a cool card. I also want you to look through that removal and tell me if you think any of those cards are going to ruin everyone's day and are not good to
No,
bring.
I don't think anything's going to ruin anybody's day. I mean, Fiery Justice is very strong, but it's like the card that you want to be cool and you want to enjoy and have a good time with. I think if anything, like Power Sync maybe is like a little bit more confusing than it is cool. Exclude's great. Love a Condescend. Yeah, sure. Great.
Expunge is not that fun. What if we took out Expunge for a good card draw spell? We don't have very many card draw spells. Like, what about a Deep Analysis, a Skeletal Scrying, a Preordain? What do you think?
I like a Skeletal Scrying for sure.
All right, let's get Skeletal Scrying in there.
All right,
I do
you wanna take out the expunge.
Yeah, take out the expunge for Skeletal Scrying. It's just not the most exciting removal spell. Here's
I mean,
the
you could also
Skeletal
just
Scrying.
add like multiple Ash Barons if we're back to that.
No, you said you didn't want to do that.
I did.
Like, it was the first thing you said, so we're going to stick by that. We're going to stand by our guns.
So does that put us at 45?
That puts us at 44.
44.
And here's the other cool cards that I pulled out when I was going through all these stacks. Maybe there's something that really inspires you for this last slot. Or maybe I put in Squirrel Nest to make you happy.
I mean, there's lots of things in here that I'm into. I mean, I love a Call to Herd, but that card's just kind of like good. I agree, Form of the Dragon is not necessarily super fun. We got a Mind Slicer, which I enjoy Mind Slicer, but I think that, I don't know. I mean, if you want to be doing the control thing, Migratory Route is like two things. It's basically uncycling, so it's more fixing, plus basically lingering souls.
That card is messed up.
Yeah.
And I actually think rewards the 4 or 5 color control deck way more than I want to. I mean, I'm already including Fiery Justice and Temporal Spring and Recoil. Like, gold removal spells, I think, oftentimes end up in that deck, but I can't go so far as to also include Treetop Village.
Treetop Village. Is there a way that this is great with Jeskai Ascendancy?
Unlikely, because it taps
really.
for green. Like, if you had a blue creature land that tapped for blue and other people bring cantrips, which we didn't happen to bring almost any of, then theoretically it could be quite good.
I mean, honestly, maybe you did this intentionally, but Quirion Dryad with all of your non-green cards.
Okay, that's actually kind of
pretty
cute.
funny.
I didn't do it intentionally.
Okay,
I just
let's
like
do that for
Quirion
sure.
Dryad. I think it's a cool card. Yeah, Quirion Dryad, 1 and a green for a 1/1. Whenever you cast a spell, it's white, blue, black, or red. Put a +1/+1 counter on Quirion Dryad. It triggers off of our entire pool except for Seasons Past.
Nice.
Okay.
I mean, Undead Gladiator is great. I wish it didn't have the words during your upkeep.
Yeah, it would be much better. much, much, much better.
Much better. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. I mean, Prismatic Strands, nobody wants that.
It's a really good card.
Sometimes.
Kinda messed
Sometimes
up.
it's really, really good.
It's pretty much always really good.
You don't have any white creatures to untap.
That's true, I don't. So we have 1 creature in our pool, and it's Quirion Dryad. I kind of love
No, we
this.
have 3.
Right. I
They're
forgot
in
about
the- they're
Pilgrim's
in the
Eye
land
and Dreamscape
pile,
Artist.
but-
Pilgrim's Eye is not that exciting.
It's not.
Maybe we should be a
It
little
is
indulgent
fixing.
and let ourselves, like what if I just swapped out a Pilgrim's Eye for a Preordain sitting right here?
What if you were to do that?
What if I was to do that?
What would that be like?
What would that be like?
What if we imagine the world where we... Sure, do it.
All right, I did it. It's great.
Great.
Okay.
Dreamscape Artist.
Let me sort
Carry
these real quick by color and type, and then we can
these
run
are-
down the pool and recap where we ended up here. Okay, so we have 2 white cards, Wing Shards and Decree of Justice. Here's where this card can be really punishing. Honestly, you shouldn't be playing things first main phase unless you have a really good reason to. And if you play a haste creature and then attack and you get Wing Shards for 2, you deserve it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
That's fair.
So Wing Shards really punishes people that are bad players, that are otherwise going to cast spells first main phase when they have no good reason to. And then
And
they
you want to teach them a lesson.
Exactly.
That's your duty
That's
as a
what we're
better
doing.
player.
And Decree of Justice, I think, is a huge bomb. It's one of the best cards in our entire pool, and just a card I love, so I can't be mad about it. We have a ton of blue cards. Let me sort these by type real quick. Type in mana value, just so we can run down them in a reasonable way. In blue, we have Instance, Repeal, Urtai's Meddling, the weird suspend counterspell, Power Sync, my favorite Clash of Wills, not Clash of Wills. What's the Tarkir card that is just the basic counter target spell unless you pay X?
It's not Syncopate. It's the other one.
Yeah, it's like the cleanest version of it. Either way, Power Sync is my favorite version of that. I also really like Condescend, which is in here. Mana Leak, Prohibit, Exclude, Complicate, Mystical Teachings, Factor Fiction. Then we have 1 creature in Dreamscape Artist, 1 enchantment in Shadow of the Second Sun, and then Portent and Preordain. I mean, unimpeachably great blue card section. We love that.
Turns out you like blue cards.
Blue cards are fun. Black, we have Duress, we have Reckless Spite, Seal of Doom, and Skeletal Scrying. Actually, you know what? Seal of Doom is bumming me out because it doesn't work with Jeskai Ascendancy or anything that we're doing here.
So we're back to...
I want to cut
Okay, what
that.
about a Seal of Removal if you want to just swap it for a different seal?
What about a Leap?
I don't like Leap.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you like Leap?
I think it's very cool. I like Leap a lot.
Huh.
What about an unsubstantiate?
So your plan is you're going to leap your Dreamscape Artist and then make it huge with the Kessig Wolf Run.
No, it's just really good with Jeskai Ascendancy.
Okay.
Draw a card, give a creature flying. Okay, if you don't like Leap, what about a unsubstantiate or a... Oh, wait, I found a Day of Judgment.
Oh, nice. Okay, great.
Day of Judgment over Seal of Doom. Now we have a board wipe. I think it's nice to include one. I like your suggestion of including one board wipe. Day of Judgment in, that out. Just 3 red cards. Honestly, fewer than I would have expected for me.
We got all these great red burn spells right here in a pile.
These are all good red burn spells, too. They're just the more interesting ones. Lava Dart, Abrade, Orcish Cannonade. Do you want to see Lightning Bolt over Abrade?
No.
Do you want to see any of those cards over Abrade?
No, I think the flexibility of Abrade is valuable in this context.
I also like not having a ton of face burn in an environment like
this. That's fair. Lava Dart, also very good with Wing Shards, should be said.
That is very true. I mean, instants are great with Wing Shards, but that's a payoff.
That's
like,
cool.
You deserve it, in my opinion.
Especially if your opponent's like attacking with some small creatures too, and you get to like ping off the small creatures, and then they have to sacrifice their big creatures. The dreams. The dreams you can live.
We have 3 green cards, Abundant Growth, Seasons Past, and Quirion Dryad. I love Quirion Dryad being the only creature in our entire pool. That's very sick, and Seasons Past is obviously sick with what's going on here. Then we have 5 gold cards, which I think is a lot. Honestly, like if everybody brings 5 gold cards, I think that's 40 gold cards is actually kind of normal, I want to say.
But they're also a whole removal spell. Well,
no, I've just kind of
they're not just like big threats that you're going to put into any deck, is what I mean. So it's not like it's going to be this like really soupy, just like pile of gold cards.
I actually think that the removal spells encourage that more than big threats.
But it won't feel like it because they're not going to be in play.
They won't be the things that are deciding the game, probably.
Yeah. Except for Jeskai Ascendancy.
Which is great and fun. We all love it. And we have no answers for Jeskai Ascendancy here, which is good, except for counterspells and duress.
I've got a Dispeller's Capsule right here.
Get it out of here. We have Fire Ice, Fiery Justice, Recoil, Temporal Spring, and Jeskai Ascendancy for our gold cards. We are putting 2 ways to bounce lands and also a number of Ravnica dual lands in this pool. I think that's okay.
I think that's fine.
And then we have a big fat stack of lands. We have, I guess I'll read them real quick. We'll put this pool will be in order on the cards mentioned page at the bottom, below all the cards mentioned that we actually mentioned in chronological order. So we have Rakdos Carnarium, Fetid Heath, Selesnya Sanctuary, Gruul Turf, Rustvale Bridge, Fiery Islet, Boros Garrison, Mistvault Bridge, Meandering River, Waterlog Grove, Ash Barrens, Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, Kessig Wolf Run.
That's a lot of good lands.
I feel good about this pool.
I think it's great. The other thing that people might point out that could be a concern is it's wildly color imbalanced. Are you either not concerned about that because you think it comes out in the wash because other people have things balanced in different ways, or do you feel like if the whole pool is imbalanced, that's not an issue either?
I don't care about color imbalance in either term. I mean, yes, it is wildly color imbalanced. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 blue cards, and then many colors we only have 3 cards in.
I mean, and the fixing is still balanced, so it seems like you're anticipating it's all going to be equally relevant, and there will be plenty of other cards of other colors in the pool.
Yeah, I do. I mean, if everybody else brings a perfectly balanced pool, then we've only got 12 more cards in blue than any other color, and that would absolutely feel like nothing.
Pretty minor, yeah.
That would feel like nothing in the scope of the entire pod. If a bunch of other people bring pools that favor blue, I think that's also totally fine. Like, that's not a problem. There will be more blue decks at the table, but blue will just be more open, which I think is totally reasonable. I think this is cute. My favorite inclusion here is Quirion Dryad. I love that. I think that's a really cute little nod to the fact that the pool is very sort of skewed towards non-creature spells and lands. And I think having a couple big win conditions in the form of Decree of Justice, Jeskai Ascendancy, and Seasons Past is very cool. Mostly, I'm just excited to bring a bunch of interaction to the pod so that people's creatures get removed and we don't just have sprawling board states.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a good plan. Here's another question is, do you think at all about the specific other players and what you expect them to bring? Like, if I'm playing, you can expect there to be some squirrels, probably.
I actually don't know who the specific other players are. I know it's going to be Jane, friend of the show Jane, and a bunch of Jane's friends, who I can guess who they might be. I won't name names, but I could guess who is probably included. But I actually don't know for sure. Even if the people that I do suspect are included, I don't necessarily know their proclivities for a stone soup. So I have no idea what Jane will bring either. It's kind of a big question mark.
Jane's going to bring a boat that says, if you deal damage to your opponent, take their library and keep it.
And keep it. All right. Well, this was a weird, interesting experimental episode. I will report back on how this went one way or another. If we do a CubeCon recap episode, then we'll talk about it there, or we'll just make it a little segment in a future episode of some other subject. But I'll definitely follow up on how this ended up going. I hope this maybe inspires some people to build their own stone soup pile. As you can see, it's not actually that important to get the colors balanced or to like...
Or maybe it is. Maybe you'll report back and be like, that was horrible. Everybody was playing blue. No, that doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't sound horrible at all. That sounds great.
It'll be fine.
Blue mirror matches are really fun. Some of the best things in Magic.
That is true. I will say that about green is best when it's punching blue decks in the face.
Yeah, green mirror matches are awful.
They are.
Oh, so bad.
Can I attack on this turn? Nope. Can I attack on this turn? Not really.
So I am being the change I want to see in the world with this contribution to the Stone Soup, and we'll see if other people do the same. I guess it is worth it. I think the biggest risk is that there is a single creature in these 45 cards.
There are 2 creatures.
You're right. We did get the Pilgrim's Eye, but we still have Dreamscape Artist. Do we want to cut Dreamscape Artist?
No.
Just because it's so cool. I want to keep it. If a bunch of other people also do something maybe very similar, then we could be in a bit of a pickle.
I mean, no. Whoever drafted the Seasons Past wins.
There could be a lot of counter magic rolling around. I guess you gotta have Seasons Past plus counter spells to protect it.
Right.
You wait till turn 12.
Yeah.
You've got 2 counter spells backed up, and then
Power
you also
sync
pick
their
up more counter
first
spells.
counter spell, so they can't do a second counter spell.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. That probably doesn't work exactly that way because you just do it in response. But it's fine. It's fine.
Power Sync's a funny one because also they might just pay for the first counter spell, and then you need a second counter spell to counter it again after they pay for it. Power Sync. It's a funky card. Is it as funky as Urtai's Meddling? You Urtai's Meddling their Seasons Pass.
And then it comes back. X is 0.
No, that's not how Seasons
not
Pass
how it
works. Seasons Pass.
Oh, Seasons Pass.
Urtai's
Yeah.
Meddling Seasons Pass, and then they deck out before they can put their Seasons Pass back on the
Okay,
bottom.
now that's cool. I like that interaction.
That would be very sick. All right, well, on that bombshell, that's the end of this episode of Lucky Paper Radio. A couple of notes for y'all listening. I'll probably put something at the beginning of the episode, too, maybe. By the time this episode comes out, there will be pre-orders open for the next batch of the Cube Will Outlive Magic playmats.
That's very exciting. A lot of people have been excited about those playmats and disappointed to have missed their window.
I felt bad for the people that missed the window the first time around. And, of course, like the day after the pre-order window closed, there were people emailing me saying, hey, I missed it. And it's like, yeah, that sucks. But also, I got to draw the line somewhere. So I felt bad for those people. And then also Sam featured it in the 100 Ornithopters video. And since that video, I've gotten so many emails like, hey, where can I get this playmat? I see it's on your website, but it says sold out. When's the next run? We are doing another run. Couple of things about this. If you are an avid listener of the show, you will know that I was emotionally and physically destroyed by the fulfillment process for the playmats last time. It is not something I'm good at, and so I am not doing it this time. We are partnered with a company called Stitcher Supply, which is basically just Cal's little project where Cal works with some other magic artists and creators to make and fulfill magic merch. That's what Cal loves to do. Cal is a weird sicko and says he loves to just fulfill orders and take things to the post office, which I'm glad that there are people like that in the world because it is not me.
It takes all kinds. It takes the person that's going to bring the all removal pool and the person that's going to bring a creature, just like a couple of them.
So Stitcher Supply is where you're going to place the order for the mat, and they're going to do all the fulfillment and customer service and everything. So if you have any problems with the order, you can always go there. There is going to be international shipping available, but it will be at a separate cost. So sorry, international friends, you will have to pay additional if you want this mat. That was the thing that near killed me last time, was trying to... Anthony, I made the
Customs
mistake.
forms.
I made the mistake of trying to live by my values
Yeah.
in the world. It's just too hard. So yeah, that's going to be how it's going to work. Also, if you're listening and you have the first version of the playmat, you should know yours will be special forever because this new version does not have the gold foiling on the ribbon and the text like the first printing did. This is mostly because Cal's particular vendor who he uses for playmats just doesn't do any foiling, so that's not an option. But it's actually okay because I would have chosen to make the next version of the mat different in some way anyway. I don't ever want to do the exact same version. I want every sort of print run to be unique. So the new version has a rainbow across the text and ribbon. It is the gayest version of the playmat we've done to date.
And it looks great. And you also did a little sort of glow effect, so the ribbon is kind of reflecting on the skeletons.
Yeah, the bones of the
Excellent
skeletons
work.
have a little bit of like a subtle glow on them, so it's like this ribbon is like glowing. It came out good. I'm very excited about it, so you can definitely pick up one of those if you want one. We'll link in the show notes. You'll be able to find a prominent link on our website. It'll be on our shop, but that will link just directly to Stitcher Supply where the orders are being placed. And it is a pre-order. I should say that too. I didn't say that. I wasn't clear. This is another pre-order window situation. So I think the pre-order window is open for a month, maybe. I should confirm that. It'll be open when this episode comes out and for not that much longer. So you should go order it right now if you want one. Don't say we didn't tell you. Once Cal gets those mats in, he's going to fulfill them and you'll get them in your hands as soon as possible. Anything else, Anthony? Are you almost done the design of everyday things?
I am almost done. I have like 50 pages left.
Do you think you can finish before Thursday?
I was trying to finish before today. Before Thursday. Can do.
Because then I can read it on the plane.
Great. Perfect.
Great.
I will
Perfect.
hand off a book.
Our next book club book, as we mentioned once before, but have not mentioned since, but we should mention again, is The Design of Everyday Things. Anthony's not going to spoil how he feels about it, but I'm going to read his copy, and then we're going to talk about that on a future episode of the podcast. If you want to know what we're talking about when we are talking about The Design of Everyday Things, you can read it yourself as well. But if you don't want to, I think that episode will be a good listen either way, regardless.
Yeah, I mean, the book is not about games specifically, but it is about design. And I feel like design is extremely portable across any kind of media. So whether you're talking about industrial design or game design, there's a lot of shared lessons to be learned. So I think we'll have a lot to talk about that we can tie back to Cube if we want to.
It's a universal language. And on that bombshell, that is the end of this episode of Lucky Paper Radio. I'm sleepy.
Thanks for letting me sift through all of these many, many magic cards. Do you want help
now.
putting these away?
No, I'll do it. It's fine. I'll clean it up. All the music for this show is produced by DJ James Nasty, and the show is edited by Matthew. All the magic cards are produced by Wizards of the Coast, and if we got anything wrong in this episode about card text, that was just to embait you for engagement. To embait you for engagement?
To embait you for engagement.
What the hell?
We got you. And if you think that was a mistake, that was to embait you for engagement too.
You got so embaited for engagement. Anthony, thank you for the gift of friendship and for the gift of Cube.
Thank you for letting me pull the squirrel nest out of your bulk.
It's a very important job. Someone's got to do it.